10-foot 1 and an 1/8 math-wise is exactly what it should be. So, and then when you're looking at like a cross-section view, so you see here it is, here's our framing, right? There's our 2 top plates, and there's our bottom one. Let's see if this, because Chief sometimes is wrong. Let's see if this one's right. So I just draw my lines out here. So this bottom line here, this is your subfloor, and that's what you don't want to go from finished floor. You want to go from subfloor. Get it exactly on the line. So this one, I don't think I have this one right. Yeah, it's off a little. So 10-foot 1 and a half. So Chief's off just a hair wherever it is. So if we took that to that 10-foot 1 and 1/8, that's a hair lower. So Chief's off a little bit. That's why I hand draw everything, because Chief can be off. So if you just stick to that formula, say it again. Yep, just a little margin. Yep. But 10-foot 1 to 10-foot 1 and an 1/8, or whatever, 8-foot 1, 8-foot 1 and 1/8. If you do those, you'll be good. But I do the 1/8 because it's more mathematically accurate. And so if you ever, you know, are kind of wondering, I do this a lot. I'll go into my plan and I'll go to my cross-section view. So like on the garage, I'll just draw a random cross-section. And that way I can kind of see what's going on here. You know, I can see the ceiling heights. I can see the floor and subfloor and kind of where it lines up. And I've caught mistakes I've done. So like here, the ceiling drops down a little bit. It really shouldn't, but then you can see your lip here in your garage floor. So then you can just measure these out. Okay. And then do you know how to create labels for those lines? Yeah, go to and then you add it. So let's say, yeah, you can do TOP means top of plate. Okay, so you've got that. And then subfloor. Okay, so you can do that if you have any question, and then grab both of these, all of them, the lines and everything, copy it, and then you can do Control-Alt-V to paste it in the exact same spot. You can flip it around, drag it over, and then it's going to be in the right spot. That makes sense to you? And then these, to get them oriented correctly, open them up and go to Auto Adjust Text Direction, and it'll fix them. And then you can drag them whichever way you want, and it'll always be correct. Okay, and then if you want to put the measurement now that you know what it is, you know, so 10-foot, 1/8 inches, that goes on the bottom, and there you go. So if you do the auto dimensions, the story pole here, this is letting Chief do it. See where it puts this top of plate way lower here? 9'7". That's not right. It does the highest ridge right. That's pretty easy. It'll do your subfloor right. That's pretty easy. So it does some things right. I usually, when I very first start, I'll click on that and I'll get the top of ridge height and I'll draw my own line right along with it. And then I'll do the subfloor and I'll draw my own line right along with it. And then I'll delete theirs and I'll go from there. Yeah, so I just do it as kind of a starting point. Just, it's quicker. So this is a house I'm working on for this project. Pretty cool, huh? So you kind of created the formula or the layout pages template, right? And you saw all the additions I kind of put into it. Okay, just make sure that those all get saved in. The only thing that will change when we do these is sometimes we'll need more pages. Yeah, so like this one, we just add a 3.1 for extra because I'm going to need a few extra, you know, of wall details. So you just add that in and then put it into your schedule at the front. These all stay the same. And then your images here. So they don't want to do interiors. So if you'll go back and just take off the interiors and just leave the exteriors on the template. What do you think? Does that look good? Cool. So you'll do a bunch of exterior views. This next page will be details. So I'll zoom in on like the column and I'll zoom in just other stuff. Okay. It does. And I was trying to get that through to Jenny and Dustin is that, you know, these take a long time. And that's on the meeting. That's why I asked, how much detail are you guys wanting us to go into? Because if you're wanting us to do interiors, we got to make them look good because otherwise they'll be stupid looking, you know, when we sell them. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. Because if you don't, they look dumb and people are like, well, that looks stupid. And they're going to move right on. You know, it has to look appealing. So I'm glad we're not. But all this other stuff, it's all still done by hand. Yeah. Chief has a lot of automatic stuff, but a lot of the times it's wrong. And so, you know, like all these notes, these are all hand done. And we got to think to what to say. Okay. What would the builder need? Well, they need to know where the electrical plug goes. They need to know where the TV might go. They need to know, you know, the height of this or that or the other, or whatever, you know. So we still have to do some interior stuff, irregardless. You know, these cabinets still have to look right and be the right height and have some drawers and not look dumb, you know. So we still have to do it. So yeah, you're right. It takes a long time, and I don't think they understand. Like on those websites that have 600 plans, that's probably over 5 years and probably 40 people doing it. You know, that's why I wanted to get some of this inputted, like these layout pages in a template with all this on there, so we don't have to add them every time. You know, so when you're doing this, let's say if this one is missing, we need to figure out how to get it so it's not missing every time we open it up. Because I noticed some of them were missing on your plan. So go through and try to figure out how we can get it where these are always, whether we need to make them into blue beams or and put them in the same folder as this or whatever, if you'll figure that out. Do you know how to do window and door schedules? Yeah, let's do one real quick just so you can see how, yeah, you go tools, schedules, and then you got your cabinets, your doors, your electrical, and your window. So let's go ahead and do window. You kind of just place it out here in no man's land. Okay, now it's got options. So you got your 3D view of it, the number, the label, the quantity, the floor, the size, the RO, the egress, blah, blah, blah. So we need to make sure that some of this information carries over. So as you can see on the egress, they're all blank. That's because I haven't done that yet. So you want to come in and make sure that your bedroom windows, yep, are egress. So you open them up and you go down to options, okay? And here you click egress. Okay, so that'll show on your, now that'll show on your schedule that's egress. If we were doing a house here in Colorado or whatever that wasn't so generic and we needed to put in the IECC information that they require, you'd come down here to your energy values, okay, and you'd go to your vinyl, wood, metal frame, whatever. Usually it's vinyl. Glazing is always double with E, low E. And then you have to put this in. So the reason that I use Anderson windows almost on every single plan is, one, they're good. Two, they have a lot of options. But three, on their website, and this is for you to know in the future here, they have lots of good information. Like here's an E-series casement window, right? You can see if it meets egress or not. So all these sizes are all no's, and then you get down here to this size and it's a yes. So you know that this window meets egress. You're up to code, right? So if you picked this big window, 32 by 36, it's not egress on a casement. But this one, 30 by 66 is, right? So they have lots of good information. And then what I really like is if you go to their website, Anderson Windows, okay? You can go to Explore Windows, types of windows, and click one. So, you know, we use a lot of casements. Go to casement, okay? So they've got picture windows, which are fixed, gliding, double and single hung, right? So let's go to click windows and doors, explore windows, casement. So here's all their series, right? You can read what they are. So here's a vinyl exterior, pine, which is wood interior, okay? 100 series is a composite, Fibrex, which is kind of like vinyl, all the way around. A series, and so on and so forth. I usually don't pick wood. I just don't like wood very much. But I usually pick aluminum or vinyl. Okay, so let's click on that. 100 series, that's what I usually use. Plus, they're not as expensive. Okay, so we can design this window. So say on our plan, we need to make sure that this window meets egress. Not that one. The one below it. Okay, so it's a 36 by 66 is what I chose, right? So we can double check ourselves here. So let's even see if this window is made in that color. Okay, so you go to design it. So 35.5 is a 36-inch window. Just in Anderson, they call it a 35.5 for their sizing. Okay, so there's our width. And then 66. Oh, sure enough, there it is. So we know this window's made, right? That's first and foremost, because sometimes you'll put windows in there that are custom, and that'd be really expensive. Well, this one you can buy off the shelf. Then you can go to your interior and you can choose your color, which is usually white. Hardware, you can pick it if you want, doesn't matter. Okay, and then so like here you want these lights, because that's what I picked, right? So it has these internal lights. Exterior, whatever color. I think if you wanted black, you could do black. Whatever. Glass, you can pick your glass, and it says, I just usually do low E glass. There is a caveat, and I'll show you what that is here in a little bit. Then you click summary, right? That gives you your window number. So you can copy that. You come in here to your label or your, let's see, object information, and put that right here in your code. right? So if we go okay, we need to refresh this thing, do a new one. There it is. So when someone's building, they can look and be like, oh, that's the model number for this window. They can go to Anderson or go to Home Depot or whatever, give them this, and they'll order it. Right? So, and then if we would have filled out, the HGC and all that information, okay, it'd be in here too. But you notice it's not up here at the top. So we need to open up this schedule and we need to add it. So over here are your categories. So these are the ones that are available and these are the ones included up here at the top. And we don't need to do that on these because we're doing generic, but if you're doing a house in Colorado that we do need to for code, you have to. So you go in here and you click U factor, add it, goes to the bottom. And your SHGC, add it, goes to the bottom. I move them up to usually below floor. Okay. Now, there they are. So if it was 0.28, you'd go into your window here and you'd put in 0.28 and say that's 0.32. There you go. So when we send this over to the code reviewers, they're going to look and they're going to see if this meets code, right? So I've had instances where they didn't. So we get comments back and they're like, oh, this needs to be 0.26. I'm like, okay. So I'll go back to here, right? No, I didn't because I didn't save it. You can go to For Pros and you can go to All Technical Documents. And we can go to Energy and Performance Data. And then you can pick it. So we did a 100 series. We did a casement. Okay, so which one is it? I think it's this one. Okay, this is cool. So here's all your U factors and your SHGCs. This is where you get that information. Okay, so here's your window. So 100 series casement. Now here's your window with low E Smart Sun, low E passive, low E heat lock. So those are all those window options I showed you on their website. As you can see, these numbers change with whichever one of these you pick. So say we were at 0.28 and they said it needed to be 0.26, let's just say. Well, that one didn't meet it, right? So, okay, which one does? Oh, hey, low E with heat lock sure does. And so does Smart Sun with heat lock. Okay, cool. So you just go back to your thing, you change it to 0.24 right here, and then you put a note, must be with heat lock. There you go. You're good now. So that's why I love Anderson Windows. They give you all the information you ever need. And then, you know, if you go lower on these, here's an awning window. Here's a single hung window. It does all of them. So say we had a gliding window, which is a left to right sliding. See how much higher it is? 0.30. These still meet it, but if this was 0.27, you'd know that you couldn't use this window. You'd have to pick a different window. And then you can also do sizing from these as well. So 100 series casement. So here's your opening sizes here. This isn't a very good one. Let's go to no. Just get rid of that. Let's go to. Sometimes you gotta kind of look around a little bit to find the right one. Well, whatever. You want to get to this one. So wherever you can find this one, it'll tell you if it fits. So ours was the casement E series. So ours was 36 wide, I think, by 66. So this is saying that it doesn't have any egress on an E series. So what do I need to do to make it get? Which is kind of weird. Why would this be in this? Let's read why. Piano hinge, blah blah blah. Okay. Because of that. So I'm going to change it to 36 by 54, and you're going to need it. Right? So that's double check. You got to kind of do. Because certain windows use certain hinges and whatever. I'll find 100 series and see if it fits, which I think it does. But it does. But for our what we need on these, we're just going to do. We're not going to do the U factor and all that. Okay, just put in your basic. Whatever the schedule it has, and then do your egress. Okay, it'll say yes. It'll say yes, it's egress. And that's it. We're not going to put it in the numbers. We're not going to put it in the manufacturer. We're not going to put any of that. And then on those egress ones, you'll in your comments, you'll just come in here to your object information. And comment just put ensure window no egress code, and that's it.